Alright, it's about time we get to these donation goal videos, huh? Welcome, folks. Today we're going to be doing something very cultured, very important for the community, something that will save Vanguard as a whole. I might be slightly exaggerating. We're going to look at the best male characters. We're going to tier them all up, every single male character that has appeared in the franchise so far. We did this with all the female characters last year, quite a while ago. I think even some of the Shinamon characters didn't make it in there. But now we're going to look at all the male characters, and let me tell you, it feels like there's more male characters in this series than female ones, which I guess for a shonen anime kind of makes sense, but I wish it didn't. You know, that's not how I want to enjoy my shonen animes. But we're going to take a look at this. There's a lot of good stuff in here, so let's get into it. So here we go. You can see it's a lot. It's like 50 plus characters. It's something crazy. We're gonna try to go through them all, you know, bit by bit. There's a lot of goods, a lot of bads. You know, it's gonna be fun just to take a look at. Some other rules I went by. I do not include any of the Seido no Asuka manga characters because I didn't read it myself. However, I do read this manga though, the G manga. This one's a god tier manga. Actually, it's amazing. I love it. So I do put in the one character from there that you'll see here, Hiku. And so, you know, I got a lot to say about him, so let's just put it that way. But, so some of these characters are villains, some of them are pro-tags, some of them are, you know, supporting characters, all over the place. We're just gonna rank them and go through their, like, qualities as people. You know, qualities as people, what makes them good. You know, maybe the S tier even makes the guys feel a bit funky, you know, makes you feel a little something. But we're gonna go through them and kind of go through the reasons. So, we're gonna go through the order of whatever it appears as. So, starting off with Mark Whiting. Mr. Mark Sensei himself. So Mark, he in the original series was literally a nobody. Like, let's just put it that way. He was a nobody. Like, this man, he was just a teacher, you know, he wasn't anything special. He was like Ninja Master as well, but they didn't really add anything to that. But then the Shin series comes in and they just give him so much character. He's literally like Shin's best friend, you know, supports him in so many ways, just feels like such an overall important character. And like, even, I remember that I was watching like a voice actor panel for the Shinamon series that they did, and the voice actors were even saying like, you know, Mark is honestly like such an important character for Shin as a character, you know, in terms of supporting him and like being down with his madness the whole time. So, Mark loses points for being irrelevant in the main series and for them taking so damn long to actually come up with like a reason for this character to be important. But, so like he would have been at a C if it wasn't for the Shinamon series, but he goes up to a B. He's not like game-changing, although to an extent, honestly, he is. I don't know, I'm like reconvincing myself that maybe he's actually more important, but I want to keep him at B because I know I'm going to knock him down later on because some of these characters just like are crazy good. So maybe let's start him out as an A, maybe he'll go down over time, but it's really the Shinamon series, the Shinamon season, god, it's such a good season that makes him go up and up and up, and he is an important character. Like for Shinamon as a character, and you know, for his shenanigans, he's important. We got our best blueberry boy, Aichi, here. I want to put him, for now, I don't know, it's somewhere here, right? Like, he is... Let me talk about Aichi. Okay, so wow, this might actually get really long because I have a lot to say about a lot of these characters. So Aichi, he is an interesting character because, of course, he is the main character. He's our protagonist, you know. When he appeared in G, this was from his first appearance in G, people were going crazy, you know. They were like, oh my god, finally, everyone's favorite, you know, blaster blade wielding boy, you know, the protag of the previous season. But for me, the problem with Aichi is that while he does see a lot of growth, it takes a while. And it's like, I remember I was rewatching the entirety of like the first like series of Vanguard, you know, pre-G. At some point in my life, I had that much like amount of time. I think it was still in high school, but like, I don't know, maybe it was somewhere early in university, but whatever, you know, you get the point. So, and I just remember thinking like, damn, you know, Aichi does grow, but it feels like they stunt him in weird ways. Or like he'll grow, and you'll feel like he's advanced as a character, and then it just kind of falls flat every now and again. And then like I rewatch Asia Circuit, I'm like, oh nice, like his voice pitch feels a bit deeper, he feels a bit more, you know, manly in a way. Although he's not trying to be a manly main character. He's meant to be this kind of, you know, still has a bit of that shyness going on, you know, that's what makes him him. But he's a good main character. Like, he is a good main character. A lot of people have problems with him. And I think I want to actually put him into S simply because he actually, as a character, he completely redid the formula, you know? Like, when you look at card games shonen, like card battles shonen anime until Vanguard, it was always the passionate, hot-headed, you know, like just shonen type character. Like, you imagine Battle Spirits, you imagine Yu-Gi-Oh, you imagine Shadowverse right now, honestly, they all fall into the same batch, you know, with some slight differences, you know? It's like Yu-Gi-Oh pro tags have that going on where they feel slightly different, but they never did this, where the pro tag straight up just gets clapped for like 30 episodes, you know, just gets clapped and clapped and clapped, and they really play with that a lot, and some people found it annoying because they come from those traditional shonen and card battle anime, but Vanguard did something new with Aichi. They really tried something new, and I think I really respect them for doing that with the protagonist of the series, you know? He's not just a random character, he's the protagonist, and they really just made him lose a lot just to emphasize how much he grows, and I love it. I honestly love it. Alright, moving along, I think this was Makoto or Arata, one of the two. This was basically Noah's teammates. He was alright. He was like kind of like what, literally what I said is like the typical card game protagonist, but in my opinion he didn't have anything going for him that was too crazy. He helped out here and there, you know, just being the dynamic with, you know, Arata, Makoto, and Noah just had a dynamic, I guess, going on, but it wasn't anything special, you know, it wasn't, like, I remember him because I remember his supporting characters, you know, the other two of his teammates, and that he just popped up a lot, you know, it wasn't necessarily because he was a great character or anything, but like, he's not bad enough to be a D tier because I do remember him. If a character is straight up forgettable, they go in D tier. If they're like, okay, you know, I kind of remember you, but you weren't special, they go to C. And they're like somewhat special, but not game changing, then B. And then like somewhat like defining for other characters, like actually have an effect on other characters, A. And then like something amazing is S. Let's put it that way. All right, then we have Gastil, or basically Eska's cousin, I think it was, or nephew, or whatever family relation. So this is a villain, and he is Gastil's diff writer, and he like, what, almost killed Ibuki or something, so did some important things, you know, and was kind of just like doing stuff behind the scenes, but he never really like, I don't know, the main points he gets are that his voice actor is Ono Yuki, and you know, that's like Gran from Gran Blue, and also Lancelot from Gran Blue, and I think the most important one is that he's Josuke from JoJo, so of course that's really important. So voice actor earns points. Also, this in the original series, this was Ren's voice actor, and then they changed it to the other guy. And so then, yeah, he can go to B. He's like not that relevant, but like rememberable to an extent. And yeah, then we have the Stargate branch leader. Honestly forgettable for a lot of people. A lot of people say I look like him. I guess that I'm wearing a white t-shirt doesn't help either. But, I mean, I kind of see it, I appreciate it, but I don't know. You know, I'll take it. Let's just put it that way, I'll take it. Then, I gotta make sure not to confuse the old men, because there's two old dudes. And so this one is, I think, Eska's guy, and this is Shion's guy. Shion's guy goes here. So Shion's butler, he was chill. He was kind of like making observations. It's always these old dudes, man. They're making observations, they're helping out behind the scenes, but they don't really do anything too important. So that's kind of it. Oh boy, we get to Noah. This is the one that some would go like, wait, this is a guy? Noah was a really interesting antagonist. Like, oh yeah, I should probably mention this video will have spoilers. If you haven't watched the entire anime, I will be spoiling stuff, you know, just to clarify why some characters are amazing. So Noah, surprise, surprise, if you haven't finished G, is a villain. Basically the key villain of G Next, and is essentially, and GZ, no, more so GZ actually, and is basically the diff-ridden Chaos Breaker Dragon, so literally the identity of Chaos Breaker Dragon. And Noah was interesting, very popular character for several reasons, let's put it that way, and also the voice actress, God tier, you know, that definitely earns points as well. And Noah, like, to me, Noah wins points of being unique, rememberable, and just crazy in a way, because of how they kind of just like pulled the rug under us. At first, like, Noah starts out as like, you know, Arata and Makoto's like, you know, teammate of just like, oh yeah, I like Chaos Breaker because it's cool, you know, like this kind of like, just like whatever character, looked kind of bland even. And then they just went sicko mode. They just went ham. They were going crazy. They were like, we're gonna give him a whole new outfit. We're gonna make people question if it's a boy or a girl. You know, we're gonna like make it Chaos Breaker different, and just they went ham on this character, and it paid off, I think. Like, there are people that literally dedicate their collections to Noah. They have like thousands and thousands of Noah sleeves. You know, they sleeve every single card they own in Noah sleeves. Like, people are crazy for this character. And for them to just pull out a random character just like that out of nowhere, make them go from a nobody to like the main villain, God tier. Honestly, does amazing things. Maybe honestly, I'm digging S. Like this is what I say. Something special. Something special. Chris he's interesting because he has like, everybody remembers like, oh, Polaris' 3 fangs. Like now when I stream, you know, Great Nature, everybody's always talking about like Polaris' 3 fangs. He's interesting because he did actually do a lot for the cast. Like he always helps out in G. In the main series, not so much. He was just kind of an ass. But in G, he really helps out quite a lot, and like people do like him. I know there's actually quite a few female viewers that really do enjoy Chris as a character, but I don't think he like affected other characters crazily. He affected a whole cast, but he doesn't have like a specific bond, you know, a specific thing that he did that like goes crazy. Let's put it that way. Chrono, our second main character, second protagonist, in my opinion, an S. I like Chrono a lot because you don't notice until you rewatch G, and for me, like while rewatching G, I really felt it. You don't notice how much growth Chrono actually goes through, and like Chrono as a character is such a mystery at the start. There's so much you don't know about him. There's so many puzzling things. Like, why can he hear the voices? Like, why can he do all these things? You know, why is he like, you know, related to Chronojan and like Craig and everything? And then slowly you piece it together over time. And then the Shinamon series adds another beautiful touch to it. I think Chrono's character is just great. I also love Ishimark as a voice actor. He's literally like god tier as a voice actor. Such an amazing personality. And Chrono to me is like, you know, I just said Aichi literally redefined the genre. You know, he like literally just like redid everything, introduced a new concept of main characters. Chrono did not. Let's keep it that way. Chrono was more towards the shonen protagonist kind of side, but he was still something special to me. And you see a lot of growth, really a lot of growth for this kid that at first doesn't care about anything. And God, let me tell you, in the manga, he's even more amazing, because in the manga, Chrono starts out as like, you know, just starting out Vanguard, but then, like, the best thing about the manga is that, like, I'm pretty sure the manga author is a card game player, because Chrono in the manga, he thinks about how to outplay his opponent. He catches on what the opponent's strategy is, and he's like, okay, they're probably gonna do this, so I should do this, and then he's like, you know, going through all his options, like, catches out opponent's misplays. Just, the manga is god tier. I wish it was officially translated. It's so amazing, and so for those reasons, Chrono to me is an amazing character. Like, stands out, great, unique design, just amazing, honestly, amazing. Guy, even though he is important for Kote, nowhere near as important as you would think. Honestly, I love Guy, you know, but I gotta keep my bias aside. He isn't that amazing. He isn't that important. Yuri is way more important for Kote in terms of characters. He's just kind of the third wheel, as unfortunate as that is. Daigo, not forgettable, but he's just there because, you know, just to promote himself. Let's put it that way. This dude, I don't remember his name. I did go through his name. It was like Subaru maybe, or like something with an S. Absolute asshole, but does reform and help to rebuild the United Sanctuary branch, but forgettable. So let's put it that way. KY, like this is the kid that always like repeats the letters. Reiji and Eiji, I'm just gonna grab them both. Like, they're not forgettable, but you either love them or you hate them or you forget them. Let's just put it that way. Like, they are not that important, just straight up not. The Chunibyo guy from the high school club, he is not important. He's important to just, he's kind of like a gag character, like about as important as these guys. You know, he's just there to like make a laugh sometimes, maybe say something out of character, say something that breaks the fourth wall a little bit, but nothing too crazy in my opinion, so kind of goes there. Gokey. Gokey is good. Gokey is good because he's actually quite relevant. He's never like there to like emotionally like change a character. He's never there to like emotionally support someone or like completely like, you know, like wake them up from a bad episode. He's kind of there to do like maybe the first phase of that. He's there to like give a good fight. He's there to support people, you know, when needed. He's a good team leader. He represents a card shop, you know. He's like a good brother figure, you know. But like they don't push that too much in your face. Like they remind you that he's a good brother figure, but he's not like an insane character. But he is also the face of Grand Blue, you know. Like you could argue also is the face of Grand Blue, but it's more so Night Rose that is than Gokey, rather than Am. So I think Gokey maybe even goes to A because he is important for several characters. He's important for Kamui, very important for Kamui, like insanely important for Kamui, and also for Nagisa, and in general for like the community, right? for his own community, his shop, his locals, all of that. We have so many characters, I have no idea how we're gonna get through this. Okay, here comes my favorite character number 1, Henry. Henry is a god tier character, and people always ask me, why do you love Henry so much? And there's so many reasons. I have to actually like stop myself or I'm gonna go overboard. So first things first, Fukuhara High, their school club in G is a very unique composition of Shion, Henry, and Rin. And both Shion and Rin are these arrogant, cocky, stuck up, just, characters that care about themselves. They want to like prove themselves all the time. All they care about is themselves, let's put it that way. They are only in that team because they want to prove themselves, right? But Henry, he doesn't need to, like, he wants to prove himself, but that's not his goal. His objective is simply to like perform as a team. He loves the team. He loves both of them. He literally like is dedicated to both of them. And God, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. Like, he puts in so much work to like make Fukuhara High as a team to stand out and perform and like stay alive, that like at first both Shion and Rin don't really appreciate him, they don't really care about him, but it's throughout the tournament circuit that they grow to appreciate Henry as a character, and they understand that, man, this dude, he's literally been pulling the weight of this team while we've just been kind of like stuck in our own like fantasies of what we want to do. Henry's amazing. His soundtrack slaps, like, god damn, it goes so hard. His soundtrack is legit probably the best soundtrack in the entirety of this franchise. His voice actor, Nishikensuke, is literally, he plays Vanguard, he loves the game as a whole. Even after G ended, he's been playing like standard, and premium on the side. He is like amazing. He like will respond to English fans, in English. He voices a lot of like Netflix dramas in Japanese, so he voices like Suits and stuff like that. But Henry is a god tier character, just absolutely amazing. We have our Gallop boy. I actually forgot his name. God, that's kind of embarrassing, but doesn't really do anything. He's like there to be a friend of Taiyo, but apart from that, he's a brat. And even when he's supposed to be Taiyo's friend, he doesn't really do much. I don't like him. Ibuki, very important character. Ibuki is a god tier character. Literally, like, so much of Vanguard actually revolves around him. It's like it's funny because If makes his character even better, like even more S tier, But Ibuki is really cool simply for the reason that, like, he starts out as this villain, and then he becomes nicer, but then he's still not good at being nice. Like, then he's like the supporting role, kind of like advancing the plot. He is literally like the reason why Chrono can grow. He measures Chrono's growth all the time, but at the same time, he's very like puzzling and mysterious in the first season of G, while also being kind of just over the top and silly, which makes sense when we see his character throughout the other seasons. But he's also like, he's human. He has emotions, even though he tries to hide them all the time. He's like got this, friendship with the main group of the original series and everything. And he's just like a supporting character for everyone. And he is just like a huge fan favorite. Mamoru Miyono is a voice actor. I don't need to say anything about that. Like, I just don't need to say anything. Like, he is too famous. He is amazing. He's charismatic. His voice actor sings my favorite opening of all of Vanguard. Shout is, by the way, the best opening. No arguments. I'll do an opening tier list maybe one day. But Ibuki is amazing. No comments. Assista Cat doesn't really do anything as a character, but he's just there all the time. But he's male, so we gotta count him there. Or is he? I think he was, because he's listed under male characters. So let's put him that way. But he is kind of like the supporting helper for Shin, so I guess he's important for that. This is Eska's butler. He does stuff on the side. The butlers go together. They're chill. They do stuff together. Dr. O, he is the voice and the face of our weekly Vanguard streams, but in the anime, just supposed to be there for analysis. Doesn't really do anything, but I'll put him up because we see him every week. Izaki is like, he's not really important for anyone, just for Morikawa really, and he doesn't really become more important. You start to appreciate him over time, but he's kind of like there as like a punching bag for most of the time, so not really that crazy important. Jaime is another interesting one. He falls in this B tier of like doesn't change anything, but very likable, very popular, very interesting. His voice actor isn't that famous, but him as a character, like, he pilots Tabas, which is a very popular deck, and overall, like, his fights are pretty hype. A lot of people really like his fights, and like him as a character in general. And I think that he does help out Chrono. He helps out people on the side, and he's always like, He doesn't show his true emotions. You know, he's just there to be an amigo. I think maybe we'll put him to A of like supportive, but he'll be at the bottom of A. Let me put it that way. Because him and Chris are very similar in that sense, but he goes a little step further, I would say. Jun, actually quite an important character. Jun is a big supporter for Kai and Miwa, and actually I think he kind of has to go to B because while he didn't really come back and he stops being important after season 1, which is quite unfortunate, but just for season 1 he did help out a lot. He really was a important figure, I think, for both Kai and Miwa, and even for Aichi to a little extent, you know, because it is his effect that reciprocated onto Aichi, so that's another thing. This is a Japan, this is literally nothing important. Weakness is a Shin, is unfortunately pretty weak. He's an interesting character. He's kind of like a meme character in my opinion. He doesn't really, like, he helps Chrono to grow a little bit, just to have like a target, to have someone that Chrono wants to beat up, you know, just to, like, you know, be better than. But he's just there to be kind of like an antagonist for a season, and then he's just there to have Dio's voice actor and just kind of like be there, you know, just kind of be there. So kind of like Chris, I think, doesn't really, not crazy important, you know, isn't super attached to a certain character, but more so of that like cast supporting character, but still pretty nice. You, oh my god, terrible, literally no redeeming values, no redeeming factors, just trash, actually trash. Then we go up to Enigma user. What was your name? Oh my god. Carl? Yeah, Carl. Carl was his name. Carl is alright. Trinity Dragon, kind of, they're very similar. Carl is interesting simply for the fact that he is, you know, there to support Team Trinity Dragon. You know, they're kind of there to be the punching bag friend buddies for, you know, for Chrono. And that's kind of it. You know, he doesn't go far beyond that. Morikawa, he's an interesting one because he is actually very important, because he's the reason why Aichi stumbled into Card Capital and why the story set forth, you know? If it wasn't for Morikawa, Vanguard's story would not actually be taking place, or it'd be very different, right? So Morikawa, in theory, is a very important character because he sets everything off. So he's important for that. He's also Emi Yashiro's voice actor. That's another redeeming factor. In G, he doesn't really do anything that much. Like, he shows up, that's about it, you know, with the initial squad. But he's mostly there as a meme. And he's a very valuable piece of meme source, because I think he is the most powerful meme source in the entire series. I think there's more jokes. Like, whenever you draw a hand of grade 3s, it is automatic that someone will say, that's a Morikawa hand, you know? It's become associated, and everybody sees it like that, you know, anyone that's watched the anime. And even if they haven't, they probably heard from their friends. So he's very important for the game, actually. It's kind of surprising, but he's a very important character for the game and for a lot of the cast. Then we have Kazuma, voiced by Best Boy Batori. Kazuma is interesting. He is almost like the protagonist of G Next in a way, like the second protagonist with Chrono. But he's important, of course. A lot of G Next revolves around him. He kind of, spoiler, becomes the villain of GZ by being differed by Gize. And, like, he's just very important. But, does he do anything too crazy, too refreshing, too amazing? I wouldn't say so. I think that he's interesting because he, like, quits and comes back, and then he's very, like, stubborn and just, like, weird at the start of G Next. But then, like, once he gets into gear, he gets really passionate and, you know, finally finds his interest with Vanguard. But I think that it really takes him a while to get to that. But he's still an amazing character. Like, his music, his themes are amazing. And overall just a great character, but just falls short of being too unique, too amazing. Big Belly Guy, kind of the same category. Like, the same can be said for both of them. Kiriabido, rememberable, but, like, doesn't really do anything important, so falls in this, like, villain tier. Like, he's just there to, like, be this, like, intermediate, like, mid-boss for Aichi to defeat, and that's it. Grandma Glasses, I don't like you at all. Arata and Makoto, like I said, they kind of fall in the same batch, I would say. Then we have Mamoru, so Tokoha's big brother. He is, of course, important for Tokoha, so for that reason alone, he is up here. He's also important for Rin to be as a target. So Mamoru, like I said, he's important for Rin's growth. He's important for Tokoha to, like literally obtain her identity in a way. And also, I mean, he is the, like, you know, the branch leader for Dragon Empire, like, does a lot of important things overall, just, like, moves the plot forward. He moves the plot forward in the V-series by helping out Kai, you know, and just a bunch of other stuff, and overall, like, a pretty interesting character. He isn't super unique, so maybe I would knock him down a notch, but him and Jaime are very similar, actually, and I would say Gokey as well. They kind of fall into the same batch of characters of, like, important for several members of the cast, important for the cast as a whole, but nothing too crazy. MC Mia, as much as I like you, and you are a cool caster figure, you know, to represent, you know, just casting, you're alright, but I like his backstory from Shinamon. That kind of brings him up a few levels, but that's about it. Then, Miguel. Miguel. You're important for a character, but god do I not like it. You're important for one character only. Nobody else knows about you. You're a different musketeer, and honestly, like, I have a bit of a problem with Miguel, because he was like the love interest target for Tokoha. Tokoha until now was like literally badass, independent girl, just, you know, carrying the legacy of badass independent girls of Vanguard. You know, it's a very big theme of the female characters in Vanguard, that they're badass and independent. And Tokoha was exactly that. She goes to study to Paris or whatever, runs into him, falls in love real quick, and then, you know, he, spoiler alert, dies. And I remember when he died, everyone was like, wait, really? Is he just, like, you know, teleported? And then this, you know, the series goes on and it's like, oh damn, he really is dead. You know, and he never came back, and I was like, damn, he really is dead. And I remember, like, for a lot of episodes, people would go, like, every week, so I was like, is Miguel coming back? Or, you know, and he's like, nope, he's dead. Antero's dead. So it's like, he's important for a single character and nothing else. So I think that's why he doesn't go here. A lot of these characters, you'll notice, they're important for not just one character, or not just one thing, but he's literally one thing. Even these guys are more important than that. You know, they have more effect than that. Kote, do I even need to say anything? Like, Kote, to me, he is, like, he's more of a, I don't even know, it's like, I want to say a Super Robot main character, like Super Robot anime main character, but at the same time, like, he is so interesting. I really don't like what they did with him in V-Series. I feel like they made him lose a lot of character, but he's this, like, nerd otaku that is cool. He's like he's a wizard, but he's like a social wizard with a relationship. You know, he's literally like, he's a huge history nerd. He's a huge card gaming nerd. He really cares about self-improvement. He's passionate as hell. You know, he has the energy to, like, make anyone get excited, you know? And that's rare. Not, like, even he doesn't all the time. He will do it anytime, you know? But, like, he has amazing teammates to support him, you know? He has, you know, this dark side that is brought out with Reverse, you know, and we see this whole, like, so much character and so much background of him is revealed through his backstory with Yuri in the Link Joker season. And it's just, I mean, I have a huge bias, of course. You know, he is the face of Dimension Police, and just an amazing one at that. And Akabane Kenji as a voice actor, beautiful, amazing. This is Nakamurabashi, which is, it's just supposed to be Kidani Shacho, so the CEO, previous CEO, Kidani, now he's Kaicho, I think, so director. But yeah, he's just a self-insert. Naoki, alright, you'll notice a thing. I really like Narukami users. I actually had an idea for a video where I just talk about Narukami users, but there's something about Narukami users that just makes them super special to me. And Naoki is an amazing character because he is literally like Kazuma tried to be what Naoki is. Naoki is like, he goes from being this like, just like rough, you know, dude, to then being super interested in the game, like developing this mad interest for it, being super passionate, just being balls off the wall, you know, just being crazy about it, and then like is super supportive for his team, is so important for everyone. He has so many internal struggles, he has so much character development, just it's insane how good of a character he is. And then in the V series, they really capitalize on that relationship he has with Maki, you know, and everything, and just 10 out of 10. I have so much I could say about Naoki, but like, Narukami users are just amazing. I honestly would not be upset if the next protagonist is a Narukami user and he has their level of like amazingness. They're very different characters, but they're similar in a certain way, and it's just this like, this role of like pulling others together, you know, while not being the spotlight, but being the horsepower, you know? not being the sleek design of the car, but the horsepower that keeps it going, that pushes it through, you know? Just so important. Then Gnome, this is a Sugita voice actor, but apart from that, not really important, but does a lot of things for the plot, and now they're kind of, you know, pushing him a little bit in the If series, but he's not super important. I think that's putting him too far. Let's put him somewhere here. Not that important, but very important voice actor. Gaillard, actually pretty important. Gaillard is an important figure for Kai and for Aichi, but he is, and of course for the Quatre Knights or whatever they were called, but, you know, and he's the meme with Le Vanguard, you know, but he doesn't, I don't know, maybe I don't remember Legion Mate well enough anymore. It's been like 6 years or something, or 7, but he was cool, and he was like, I don't know, he had a very cool deck. Bluish Knights is some of people's favorite aesthetic in Vanguard of all time. And so, like, the rings and, like, the kissing the rings and stuff like that was very nice. And he did support characters a lot. He was important for Kai and Aichi. So I think for that reason alone, he is an A-tier character. But I would struggle to justify anything higher than that. These boys, well, actually, the main Man Colony guy, nothing important. Important to me because actually there was a fan art of him and Gus from Bakugan, if anybody remembers those characters, where they were standing together, and that fan art actually led me to getting into Vanguard, so that's important for me. Terrible. Nev, I think he was called, the Metalborg user. He's alright as, like, again, like this, like, rival character that, again, this is me having personal bias. So he's like a rival character, nothing super crazy important, but does support some characters. But again, like nowhere near as Gaillard does, but still supports them to a certain extent. You are a terrible, terrible villain. I don't know what to say. Like, just bad. Just a bad villain. I don't know. Maybe a bit better than some of these, but just a bad villain. That's all I can say. Oh, we got to the big fish. This video's really long, actually, and we still have quite a few big fish. Like, would you look at that? We have Ren. I'm gonna say a lot about you. I'm gonna say a lot about you. About you. I love this picture of Leon. And you know, there's quite a few big fish to get through. But Ren, I don't need to, like, you know, I don't need to kid anyone. Ren was my favorite character when I got into Vanguard. Literally, you know, just like everyone else. Loved Shadows, loved Ren, cool character. I think a lot of people have forgotten how much hype this character had in the anime. When Limit Break started, right, we didn't see any sign of Ren for ages. And then they show up with new AL4 and everyone's like, oh my god, you know? And then, skip to the Link Joker, we go through, like, so many episodes, so many episodes of Miyagi Academy, and then at one point, finally, Ren shows up and everyone loses their minds. They're like, oh my god, he's got a ponytail, he's looking amazing. You know, he goes from being the main villain to being this, like happy-go-lucky dude, and then being to this in Link Joker. That's my favorite part of his character. He kind of stays like that for the rest of the series, throughout G and everything, and I love it. And then, I remember in Legion Mate, Ren actually showed up quite early, and there were so many memes on the Japanese community where they're like, isn't this too early for Ren to be making an appearance? Like, usually we have to wait for, like, the middle of the season. And, you know, it's, like, this character, I don't need to say anything. Like, everybody loves Ren. Everybody loves Ren. He's very unique. He's a cool character, and his voice actor is also very amazing, and just, yeah. Then, we get to Riku. Riku, to me, is important as a villain. I'll be honest, I haven't finished the 4th volume yet of the manga, which is a lot about Riku, actually. So there's a lot for me still left to find out about him, but just right now I want to put him as a pretty important character because he's very important for Tri 3 in the manga, and for his, like, brothers, I believe. And basically just very unique, basically to spoil you on the manga, because I don't think it's ever going to get translated into English, at least not officially. He is a chameleon character, and he basically uses the clan of the opponent and beats them with it. Like, he outplays them in their clan and brings them down because of that. And so to me, that's a very unique take on a villain, or antagonist. And for that reason, he's a pretty cool character. He's important for the plot, you know, just like Noah was. And so I would put him here at, like, low A tier. Then we have Rive. Rive is a mystery man, of course, very important for quite a few. He's very important. He's very, very important. Let's be real. He's important for Shin's growth. He's important for Chrono because he's his dad. You know, he sacrificed his life basically to make sure Chrono gets out alive. And he is very important for Shin's growth. you know, very important as a role model, as a like a mentor figure. And like in G, he's a mystery man. Like we don't know anything about Rive. He's just like shrouded in mystery. We don't know jack shit, but he is very important just for those reasons alone. All right, moving on. We have Ryoma. I always forget the name of the branch leader. He's not like he goes somewhere here. I like him, again, Narukami user, but to me he's always like the weak link of Narukami users, because he's not like, he's passionate and cool, but that's it. Like he doesn't have anything else. He doesn't like pull people, he just goofs around all the time, nothing too serious. I don't really like him that much, let's put it that way. I mean, I don't hate him, but I don't think he's that great. Like, I actually goes down like, maybe even Guy should go up here somewhere. Like, Guy's somewhat important. Okay. Myojin Ryuzu. Myojin Ryuzu is one of the more important villains of the franchise, being insanely important as a character in the Shinamon series, of course, and, you know, like, again, related link, he is an important, basically, reason for Shin's growth, as well, as a, like, you know, antagonist, and of course for Chrono as well. Like, it's like the first big, I guess the second big wall that Chrono has to get over, and just has some weird things going on. But the reason why he doesn't fall into this category for me is because he's just like falls a little bit short. He doesn't leave any long-lasting like effects on characters. You know, like Gokey you always remember, but like Myojin Ryuzu, like he shows up here and there, like Ibuki babysitting him and stuff, but he doesn't, like, I don't know, doesn't really do anything in the long term for me, and so I would put him as like high B, kind of like him. They kind of have similar feels, all these guys. So then we have Saori. So Saori, I'm also combining him and Dumjit, of course. I kind of like him. He's always pissed. He's always just not happy. He's always just irritated with something, you know, and just not having it. Just not, straight up not having it. And I don't know, to me, it's like, I kind of like it. And he goes through quite a lot as Dumjit, you know, and he has a lot of these like bad memories. But he's not too crazy. He kind of falls into this like weird like Diff Rider vibe where it's an interesting character, but nothing too crazy important. I nearly said Enoki Junya. Oh my god, that's Shion's voice actor. Enishi is actually quite important. Enishi is a pretty important character. I would put him beyond Jaime, actually. Enishi is important for Luna. Luna's literally like kind of like brother figure. He's also important for Tokoha and Kumi to like keep the team going, you know, because Tokoha is that like, you know, the war pack leader, you know, she's like there to just like stand up and fight. And then Kumi's just there to kind of like be like the friend, and he's like the one carrying them together. He's like, I got two polar opposites on each side and I gotta somehow have this team together, and he just has them in there, you know? And he was also kind of like a villain kind of thing in Gears Crisis, I believe. And then, you know, in G Next, he becomes the man that pulls the team together. So kind of similar as my boy Henry, but not enough. But he's very cool. He's very popular, very, very popular actually with the female viewer base of the show. And so, I mean, I know that personally from a lot of friends actually. So I would maybe even put him somewhere here. Both of these characters are very popular for similar reasons. But yeah, he's very popular. Literally sells Sharot by his own name, and so I think for that reason Enishi is pretty good and just important for characters. Shinamon for me is our next S tier candidate. I would even put him here. Let the pro tags sit together. Like Shinamon. No, actually, no. The Shin series makes me appreciate Shin like crazy. Like this level. Shin is like throughout the entire franchise, he is the supporting role for the main cast, you know, drives them around, takes them places, you know, he's there to just like not just be a gag, but he's there to like advance the story at times, you know, tell the main cast like, all right, chill guys, we gotta go practice, you can't just keep jumping from one tournament to another, you gotta take it easy. And he's always there to kind of oversee the plot. And after seeing the Shinamon series, there's so much that becomes clear because of Shinamon's perspective. Like the fact that he went through all these things in the past, and then he sees what happens in the future, you know, with Aichi's and Chrono's stories, and it's just, I think that just magnifies how important he is as a character on so many scales, and I love him for that reason. I think he's an amazing character. What an amazing protagonist that then turns into a side character, and like, God, I was rewatching G, and there was one time in like episode 2, 3, or 4, somewhere there, where when when Chrono and Shin meet, even in G, he already goes like, ah, so that's you, you know, that whole thing. Like, ah, I love it. I love it. He is literally this like core character in the back. He's not supposed to be the main protagonist you remember. He's not like Chrono and Aichi that you remember for like being the faces of the show, but he's the supporting role that you will never forget. Like, he's, God, I can't stress how important he is. It's crazy how important he is. Like, in my opinion, more important than the main characters themselves, like in terms of how much he pulls everything together. Then we have our boy, Glasses. I honestly forgot his name for a second. Important for the team, but not too important, like the weaker link of the team, if I would say. Oh, you bastard. You lovely bastard. Somehow, my man, Shinonome, he is the reason for all the like violent scenes in the anime. Shion beating the shit out of him, like, bop, bop. It's so good. It's so satisfying. Him getting into fight with Ibuki as well, just bop, just, so good. It's so amazing. I don't know, there's something unique about this guy, man. Like, I don't know. He's an asshole and I hate him, but his voice actor is famous as hell. His, you know, Fenrir is cool as hell. Like, and as a character, I don't know, like, for the longest time in G, you just kind of question, like, what are his motives? What is he trying to do? You know, what is he getting at? And then you find out that he's just a straight up asshole. Like, he just doesn't want anything good for anyone. He just straight up wants to rob Shion of all his money. You know, he's just out here to cause trouble. He just wants to make trouble. He's toxic as hell. But, like, obviously I hate people like that in person, but in fiction, if done right, especially when you see them getting smacked, when you see them get punched in the teeth, it's so satisfying. And so, if he wasn't such an asshole, the satisfaction of him getting punched in the teeth would not be as great. And so it's important that he is a good asshole, because he getting beat up is rewarding. So, A tier. You are bad. You are straight up just not worth it. Not, like, somewhat rememberable. He used Link Joker, like, not good, but yeah. Miwa, in my opinion, is the very refreshing supporting character. I think this is, like, as you see, I like these refreshing supporting characters. Miwa is definitely A tier in that sense. Kind of a bit of a ladies' man, you know, but at the same time very supporting of his friends. Knows when to, like, go in and out of serious and silly mode, and just overall a very good character, especially in the original series. I think the V series, they kind of botched him a little bit, but rewatching the original, you really notice that he's so important for the story. Like, he really is the man in the back. You know, he's the one, you know, that you hand the AUX cord to. You let him play a Spotify playlist because you know that he's got the stuff that will keep you sorted, you know, like, he knows his stuff, he knows the main cast, he knows how to support them, and he's just important for that reason. Taiyo tries to do similar things and does not do them well enough. Taiyo, I don't know, he's a weird character. Taiyo tries to do a bunch of things and just doesn't really go anywhere with them, and he's important for characters, let's put it that way. So he is important for, like, Kazuma, you know, he's important for a lot of characters, honestly, and, you know, to be the tutorial character as well, but just falls short. I can't really say much more. Baba Takeru, my man Baba, he is kind of cool, I guess. He's kind of forgettable, honestly, but I just find his name so funny. And, I mean, he was like a one-episode cameo, so maybe he's not that important, but yeah. Oh, you villain gods. Speaking of villain gods that feel very, very pleasing to watch get annihilated, Takuto, man. Takuto, y'all are the same. All three of you are the exact same batch of bad apples, but there's something good about you that makes it pleasant to watch. So, I think Takuto is hated by a lot of people, but man, famous ass voice actress. If you like Symphogear, Yukine Chris, good stuff. But, yeah, kind of the same thing applies, let's just put it that way. Mr. Global's alright. Pretty memorable because of the V-series now, but that's about it. We got our man Tatsuya. Tatsuya was interesting, goes in the same batch, they look quite similar in this angle, but brought out Malkuth, Melek, which is a really cool aesthetic for angels, and he's like a cool, like, oh shit, so you're the villain kind of moment, but doesn't really go beyond that in my opinion. Like, he's important for Shin, but not really. nowhere near as important to Shin as these two. Nowhere near, okay? Or like Eska. So he's just kind of always there as like in the first season of Shin, he's just like there to like support in the back, kind of, and just like be silly. And then he's like, oh, villain. Oh, my parents died. Oh, I want to bring them back. Oh, never mind. You know, I don't really like that. Too wishy-washy. Not a fan. Tetsu is a goat. Tetsu is the goat, I think. Like, Tetsu is so important. I think he's also like very just memorable as a supporting character, as like the man that oversees. Again, look at all these characters that oversee the plot that I love. Tetsu, Miwa, Ibuki, Shin, like Henry. They're all like overseers. They all just like look at what's happening, like mediate and make sure to not overstep their boundaries, you know? He's never too much of a villain to be bad, and he's never too good to be a hero. He's always in the middle, but he's always making sure that the people that are with him are on track, you know? And that's what I love about him. Then we have Tonori. Tonori is alright. A lot of the Shin characters, like, some of them are god tier, but then, like, Tonori, for example, he falls a bit short. He's just kind of there to be a punching bag, honestly. He's just there to kind of, like, be a bit of a meme. Kind of goes into this, like, this, maybe this category of, like, somewhat important, but not crazy important. Kai, I mean, I think I would anger too many people if I didn't put Kai here. But Kai, of course, is very important. Like, you can't not watch Season 1 and not think that Kai is the actual, like, you know, the main crux of the franchise, you know? Kai is so important, so popular, goddamn. You know, for those of you that are JoJo fans, his voice actor is Caesar's voice actor. So, you know, like, it's... Kai is, of course, just super important. He is, you know... He's kind of like the main reason for a lot of the series happening as well. Like, the reason why the series happens is because Aichi meets Kai, you know, and stuff like that. And then the reason why it goes deeper is because Aichi met Ibuki. So whoever he meets just kind of like turns out to do something, you know, very important. And, you know, Kai is just important for that reason, I think. And like, he is of course the face of Kagero. He has an amazing soundtrack, you know, he is an amazing voice actor. Like, in G, he does arguably too much, I would say. Sometimes even steals the spotlight a bit. The whole, like, the Overlord memes also are very great. And then, like, what else? Like, in the V series, yeah, he's pretty good. In my opinion, a bit bland. But it's, like, in the original series, he's a good character. Like, let's just put it that way. Let's be honest. He's a good character. You are a little bit better than your two counterparts. So you're gonna go here. Tsuneto, he's a little bit better than Carl and... I always forget his name. But he is, like... He kind of, like, is there to butt heads with Chrono, help him with that early growth, and in general just kind of, you know, support a little bit, but not too much, so not super important. Leon. My boy Leon. I kind of forgot how important you were, actually, to be honest. So, Leon kind of goes in this tier. I love this face so much. He is important for a lot of characters, interestingly. Like, he's the sole, you know, survivor of the Leon clan, walks around with his own personal harem of 2 twins. You know, he is important for the main cast, he's important for Kote, for snapping him out of it. You know, he's important for a lot of characters, like snapping them out of Psyqualia, you know, or reverse rather, not Psyqualia. And then, like, he is a good antagonist. I liked him as an antagonist. I think he was very fun to watch just go kind of mental, as you can see in this picture. And even when he comes back, you know, with, like, he's also, like, kind of the face of Aqua Force, whether you like it or not. And I think, like, if you rewatch the anime, you notice a lot of stuff that, like, makes him a pretty interesting character. Also, how much mystery was, like, around him when he was introduced as well. Like, when he was introduced, everyone was like, what the hell? Who's this, like, Jack Atlas, like, child-looking, like, dude? You know? And then people started to slowly develop interest, and then they were like, oh, okay, so Aqua Force, like, marine units, that's really cool, that's super unique, we've never seen that in a card game before, you know, stuff like that. So Leon is pretty important for that, I would say, you know, just good quality character. Kyo is interesting. He's like a persistent kind of villainy character, important for Kamui in the V series, important for Aichi, very important for Aichi, important for Asaka, Tetsu, actually very important for a lot of characters, kind of goes in this same pile of characters, I would say. So Kyo is important. Ryuga, I think it was his original name, so Valios. Meme potential is A+, but sadly the Diff Writers, they just didn't have enough time to develop. Like, look at some of these characters, they had years of character development, you know? Or like very focused episodes of character development, but like the diff writers, they just got one season, you know, not much time to develop. It's very unfortunate. And then finally, to finish off in a big one, Shion. Oh, Shion, you are a miracle. I don't think I've ever been more surprised by a character. I've never gotten more 180 on my opinion on a character than Shion in this entire franchise. Shion is a gem. Like, I don't know, I personally love Shion. I think he goes from this botchama, you know, like this pompous, like, arrogant kid that you just like, I hate this guy, you know? In the manga, by the way, pretty good character. Very similar to the anime counterpart, but just more analytical, more skill-based, more skillful, let's put it that way. Ultima was cool, gave a new identity to Royals, in my opinion, finally going away from Blaster Blade and going into this cool, like, bluish knight kind of aesthetic. Blue-white knight, let's put it that way. Has a pretty, like, let's just say, like, he has very cool relationships with characters. Like, his rivalry with Chrono is cool. The fact that he gets robbed of everything in his life by Am and then just turns into this, like, bad dude, you know? He just, like, I'm not taking shit from anyone. Like, you think of my, like, Prince haircut and you think I'm a sissy boy? Now, like, it's like, you see his Prince haircut and you think he's, like, you know, some pompous little kid. He's like, nah, he'll stab you, you know? He's like, he just goes complete 180, and everyone's opinion of him also went 180. Everyone started loving him, you know, just cool character. You see him get clapped, you see him just be annoying and arrogant, and then he becomes just really important. And like in G-Next, I love him as a character, you know, like him and Henry have a cool dynamic. Him and Rin have the best dynamic. I don't really like ship them per se, but I love the way they clash, the way they butt heads, the way they're both just arrogant. They only care about themselves. They only care about, like, you know, reaching their own goals, but they butt heads, you know. They're just like, I only love myself and you only love yourself, but I hate you, you know. But it's like, but I will team up with you because you're a good resource, but goddamn, you know, like, and like, he teases characters, he makes fun of them. Like, he's just a good character. Like Shion's good, let's put it that way. So that's it. That's the tier list. The D tier is the forgettables, the you didn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm sorry, Kitani, but, you know, it's not officially Kitani. Let's calm down. Like, then the C tier is like, yeah, you were cool, but not that important, but not forgettable either, I would say. Maybe you can argue for Baba Takeru that he was forgettable, but for me the name will never be forgotten. And the butlers will be remembered for their memes. Then it's like the important characters, but like not substantially important. And then we have the characters that like push the plot to an extent. Like, they really, if you look at all these characters, they push the plot or they support the cast in an amazing way. So, you know, villains, you have like villains turned good guys, you have memes, you have the Chads, you know, that really support characters, and then you have the unique bunch that really that stick out. You know, when you think of male Vanguard characters, I would say that it's this, maybe plus Kazuma and plus Leon, you know, and some of these, like A and B, I mean S and A, are the characters that you look at, or like you think of Vanguard male characters, and they're probably the first bundle that like pop to your head. Like all of these, I would say. Noah may be a bit of an exception, but, you know, still, you know, important and memorable. So yeah, this was a very long video. I didn't think I was this passionate about all these characters, but, you know, I love the anime. I really do. I love the franchise. I love what Vanguard is, and like, it's the anime characters that really help you enjoy it. So yeah, this is kind of like, I wouldn't reorder this too much. I think I reordered it as I went. So I kind of, I basically rank them as you see here. So yeah, I think that this is my male character tier list. This is actually really fun to do. I'll leave a link in the description for the template if you want to do your own. You can tag me on Twitter with your opinions, what you think. I'm ready to see like SSS of being just somebody's favorite character than everybody else at the bottom. I've seen that before with the female one last year, but yeah, I could maybe reorganize some of them, you know, like this or something, but overall, this is how I feel. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually had a lot of fun making it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who are your favorite male characters and stuff like that. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.